listening to God, sometimes what you're studying might not be what God wants spoken at that time. But you got to love a God who knows exactly what he's doing. I already prayed, so I'm not going to pray again because it's already been done, and God's will be done tonight. What I wanted to talk about, God said, no, sir, I need you to go back and do something else. So would you please turn to Psalms 23, verse 5. And when you're there, please say amen. Amen. But before I forget, I want to thank God for the opportunity to share his precious word. And thank God for Pastor for allowing his sons to be able to share the word and not be under bondage. Verse 5 say, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. I just want the A portion of this scripture. The theme is God is seen as a caring shepherd, a dependable guide. We must follow God and obey his command. He is our only hope for life and security. The author is David. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. In this verse, I want to pull out 3 questions. Why would God prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies? Who is the enemy? And what is the table? Now, in this passage in Hebrew, prepare means to arrange, set in order, to furnish, to ordain. In the English, simply means to establish, decree, or law. God is not preparing things as if we are preparing breakfast in the morning time. God is preparing and ordaining something special. I like to give a speech when I'm preaching. I'm not going to hold you long, but it depends on how long God want to hold you. He is setting up something in order. God's kind of preparation is very intentional. It's very planned. It's in order. God prepares a table in front of your enemies because he wants you to know he has everything under control. Everything under control. God is actively setting up things for you. All you got to do is be willing to follow. Willing to follow. Who is the enemy? Everybody know that Satan is the enemy. We know he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. If you allow him, he'll sift you like wheat. But in simpler terms, in everyday life, it's things that you deal with. Distress, trouble, oppression, affliction. All of us have these. It's called life. It's called life. God knows exactly what you need. God has already done everything that he needs to do. Your table is set up. Now, how many of y'all in front of y'all table, meaning that you in God's will? See, a lot of us as Christians, we try to handle things on our own. We try to fix things on our own, in our own power. But in reality, we make things worse than what it was at first. Now, God got to fix the problem you created and then fix the problem from the beginning. The table in Hebrew means shihan, a spread, which implies a meal. English meaning for the word table is feast. Feast. I know a lot of y'all been to banquets, and y'all see them long white tables that pretty much has everything you need to fill yourself up. You got desserts on one side. You got the drinks on one side. You got the main course on one side. But simply put, it's provision. It's provision. Now, depending on what you're dealing with, because see, all of us don't deal with the same thing at the same time, so your provision is going to be different. See, when it boils down to it, I might have dealt with something. Somebody come along behind me and going through it. We talking about it. They'll see, well, okay, well, Minister Dotson got through it. I can get through it. It just depends on your situation. With all that being said, let me show you how it works with God. Let's go to Proverbs 16:7. And when you're there, please say amen. And the words say, when a man ways please the Lord, he make it even his enemies to be at peace with him. Huh? Your enemies be at peace with you. Now, we all deal with things in life. We deal with certain people in life. You know who like you and you know who don't like you. You know who gonna rub you the wrong way time they hit your presence. So you got people that say they're your friend, but in reality, they're your enemy. They don't want to see you make it. They don't want to see nothing good happen to you. If something good happened to you, they got something negative to say. See, we all deal with that. We want other people to like us, and sometimes we'll do almost anything to win their approval, to the point to where you do something wrong and you know it's not right in the eyesight of the Lord. I've been there. See, I'm transparent. I've been there, done that. You got to have somebody to like you. But in reality, it's all about Jesus. It's all about Jesus. As long as you're doing what thus saith the Lord, you're going to be all right. But you got to stay in his will. So we want their approval. But God tells us to put our energy into pleasing him instead of our efforts to be peacemakers that usually make us more attractive to people, even our enemies. A lot of us as Christians, when you first come in, you done partied harder. You done did everything you thought you was bigger to do up under the sun. When you first come in, you're going to try to do any and everything to get the people in the church to like you. But also you still got that outside world tugging at you. So you don't want to be disliked on either side. So you stressing to try to please both people, the world and God. You can't do it. You can't do it. See, when you striving to please God and your ways or his ways, he make everything easy for you. He make everything easy for you. But see, a lot of us have the thing where we want to do things the way we see fit, and they're not pleasing to God. I got some friends that, we deal with basketball. That's how we all got connected. But come to find out, there's a few of us that God was grooming to be ministers, to preach his word. But what it boils down to, what do you plan on doing to get in front of your table? Your table. How is God going to prepare your table? See, your table has everything you need on it from jump. See, what's on my table might not be on your table. What you think is on your table, God might not have it to be on your table. See, dealing with me, everybody know I love basketball. I played every day if I could. Me thinking, growing up, I was supposed to go to the pros. That ain't what God had on my table. See, a lot of y'all want these jobs. You want these new cars. and stuff like that. But that ain't on your table. See, God got everything lined up for you on your table, but you got to be willing to get in front of him and stay in his will, to find him, to seek him. See, once you get in his will, everything that you think you're supposed to get, God going to give you more. That's on your table. Basketball has introduced me to a lot of people all over the United States. But what I'm glad about is that in this small town of Benton, this gym over here, the CIA building, gives me the chance to touch every age bracket with that basketball. But the thing about it is, it's not about the basketball. It's about their soul salvation. And see, I strive to give these kids something different because they see on TV that we getting shot down. We going to jail. You know, anything up under the sun that's negative is shown on that TV. But these kids now need somebody that's going to show them the right way to do it in the eyes of the Lord. See, we got to be example for these kids because these kids don't have it at home. We want to go certain places dealing with the school, and I try to get out of school. I'm just going to be real with y'all. I tried to transfer to another department. God put a halt on that. God kept me in the school for a reason. And see what it is when you can go in the pre-K hall to the 5th grade hall and you getting hugs and these kids touching you and saying, hey, Mr. CD, how your day going and stuff like that. That's what it's about. Touching these kids at an early age to guide them the right way, to make sure they get in front of their table. Because a lot of them don't have it at home. A lot of them don't have it at home. A lot of these households have one parent. And that one parent is striving to do the best they can. But you got outside forces pulling in different directions. I prayed and asked God to let me be a light for these kids, the young adults, and stuff like that because they need that. The kids we got coming up now, at the rate they going, they're not going to get in front of their table like they're supposed to be. God not going to be able to work with them like he is with us if we don't do our part. This is how we cannot be pleasing to God. Let's go to Hebrews 11:6, please. And when you there, say amen. I still hear pages turning, so I'm going to wait. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. If you don't have faith, you can't please him. You don't have faith, none in the area of your life going to work because you have to believe. You have to believe. Diligently seek him. A lot of us don't do that. A lot of us don't do that. We have hardly seek him. And then we wonder why we can't get situations in our life taken care of. We wonder why things are happening to us that we know shouldn't be happening to us. You don't have the faith. You're not believing when you pray. You're not spending time with God. You're not praying with him. You're not worshiping him. See, God likes to be praised. He ain't asking for it, but because of what Jesus did, we ought to praise him. We ought to worship him. See, God loves his people. He loves his people. That's why I say with your table, your provision is already made. Now, every first Sunday, we got that table laid out in front of us. Can y'all see all that stuff that's on that table? Can y'all see all that provision that's on that table? Huh? Jesus died on the cross for our sins. He was made sin for us. He knew no sin. That table has everything we need. If God don't do nothing, if Jesus don't do nothing else right now, he done enough. But see, it all depends on us with our faith to get what we need off our table. So like I said earlier, what's on my table